Tough day for our football team today. I give credit to Georgia Southern. They came into our place. They played a good football game for 4 quarters and took it to us. They beat us soundly in all 3 phases. Obviously, it starts with me. I didn't do a good enough job preparing our football team to go out and execute at a high level. I addressed the football team in the locker room. We'll find out what we're all about. If we're interested, finding a solution and getting better and attacking conference game number 1 next week, then be here tomorrow morning ready to go to work. Starts with me. I didn't do a good enough job. Disappointed. Apologize to our fans. Apologize to those that support us because that just simply is not a representation of what we do.
Coach, you said you feel like you didn't do a good enough
Yep.
job. What do you think that you could have done better?
Well, obviously, I didn't do a good enough job. It starts with me. I'm the head football coach here, so obviously I didn't prepare our guys the way I needed to on the football field at practice all week long. Got to look at what we're doing. Got to make sure that we're giving our guys the best chance to execute. What are we asking them to do? Do they have confidence in what we're asking them to do? So it starts with me. I got to own it before anybody else can. So I'll look myself in the mirror and I'll attack the solution to get better.
Is there anything on the field that sticks out in particular that you feel like you guys need to work on?
More confidence. Obviously, it starts with that. We struggled to put anything together offensively, put the defense in a poor position all day long. Obviously, from a special team standpoint, we had a few miscues that led to putting ourselves in a very difficult field position. So there's plenty in all 3 phases. So obviously, that starts with me. How can I get our football team to play with confidence? And that look, you take a hard look what you're asking your guys to do. Make sure they have confidence on what we're asking them to do. Have we seen it on the practice field? Has it been successful on the practice field? Has it been successful for a long period of time on the practice field? That starts with me. That falls squarely on me. I got to look long and hard at getting that better.
Last Monday we talked about how Georgia Southern has some dynamic playmakers on offense, and talked about how you guys were going to have to prepare for that in the secondary. You feel like you guys didn't do a good enough job in that? Well,
the open field tackling piece of it, obviously, they did a good job getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers in space, and they made plays. It is what it is. Obviously, until you look at the film and see what the breakdown was, it was simply a missed tackle. Did we not wrap up? There was a few yards that were gained after contact, whether it was by the running back, whether it was by the receiver, whatever it may be. So obviously we need to look at the tape. But again, all 3 phases did not play well enough in order to have any kind of success today.
Yeah, you said on Monday again that you feel like this will prepare you guys well for the MAC, given the Sun Belt and the MAC's kind of closeness and competition. What do you think that you can take away from this game going into MAC?
Well, I want to learn what we're all about as a team. How are we going to respond to some real adversity? Because that's an adversity. We got embarrassed here at home. I'm going to find out what our football team is made of. I'm going to find out what our leadership in that locker room is made of. I'm interested in guys that are willing to work towards a solution. They're willing to work to get better. So we'll find out tomorrow morning when we gather here. I expect them to stick their chest out, put their chin up, own it, take it on the chin like a man, and move forward. Don't go run and hide from it. Your problems are your problems. My problems are my problems. We got to attack it head on. Find that solution because we're all we got. We got to figure out a way to get back together. Make sure there's no finger pointing. There's no time for that. I got to do my part to make sure I get that done, and there's no concern that way.
Coach, obviously the offense struggled a lot today, especially in that first half. What were just some of the issues that you saw that you guys couldn't get into rhythm?
Execution. We did not execute at all. No, point blank. There's no way to dice it, slice it, any way. We didn't execute. Start with the opening snap of the game. We had a good play. We thought the snap was low on the ground. It took Caden's eyes off the coverage down the field. By the time he got back up, obviously he was off his rhythm with his drop. Tanner was open on the spear route there. Obviously he threw it high because he catches that thing. That's a big hit up the sideline. So it started on the opening play. Too many negative plays. Too many negative plays where we were behind the change. Obviously we struggled in protection as well. Couldn't get anything going in the run game. So we got beat, man. We got beat, and it comes down to execution. We didn't get it done.
Yeah, this is the 3rd game now the running game has struggled. I know the competition is good, but what are you seeing that's really giving the running game just the inability to kind of get any sort of consistency?
I wouldn't say we struggled a week ago. I respect what you're saying about our opponent, but we did a good job last week building some positive things, having some positive runs, rushing for 288 yards. Didn't play well today. Didn't get it done. Too many guys running free in our backfield. So did our motion package, did some of the shifts, did that cause problems for us where we didn't know for sure who we were going to in the run game. So when I talk about taking a hard look on the practice field, taking a hard look in meeting room, those are the things I'm referring to.
Red zone, you guys got in there twice, I think, today, and the one had the fumble and the option play and the interception, and the other one you guys couldn't punch it in.
Poor execution.
Yeah.
Poor execution. Obviously, can't happen. You can't, you can't put the ball on the ground when you're talking about 1st and goal. Obviously, the interception, threw the ball late, threw it behind Tanner. Those are things that just simply can't happen. We worked too hard down there. So again, it's going to sound like a broken record, but I got to do a good job of looking exactly what we're asking our kids to do. Do they have confidence in getting that done? So I got to take a long, hard look at that.
How do you think Caden's response to some of the adversity today was?
Obviously, he struggled to get anything going, period. He struggled to connect on any throws. Left that ball inside his last throw of the game when he threw the interception. That was just, if it was a run play, it was an RPO. If they gave us one-on-one coverage on the outside, obviously we felt like we had a good matchup having Tanner back there, but he left that ball inside. Their corner made a good play. Don't want to take anything away from him, but obviously struggled to get anything positive happen, and it started first play of the game when you're going to the ground to find the ball, and then obviously you get your eyes back up and he overthrows the spear route for a big chunk.
And defensively, we kind of talked about some of their playmakers that they had coming into this game. Did you guys try to play more zone to try and maybe get some of their one-on-one matchups?
It wasn't necessarily about the package. Obviously, when they make you defend the whole field, so you got to have a good plan in place, knowing that they're going to spread the ball around, whether it's to the field, to the boundary, the run game. Obviously, they don't run it a lot, but when they run it, they're highly efficient, highly effective in their yards per carry. So we just didn't tackle well enough. Obviously, until I get a chance to look at the tape, it's hard to say what exactly happened on each, but there was too many yards had out there on the field today. So for them to have 530 yards and obviously 344 through the air, they still ran for 167. So we got obviously plenty of blame to go around.
And I believe Charity and Strickland went out in the game in the first half, or how are they doing?
Don't have any update for you right now. Both obviously did not return to the football game, so I don't have any update on that right now.
I just have one last thing. Big losses early on to Kentucky and Georgia, but I guess just today, this game felt a little different in the nature of the loss. Does it feel that way within the program as well?
I hate to lose, period. Okay, obviously doesn't sit well coming off of a nice atmosphere last weekend here. First win at home. We wanted to piggyback that. We wanted to stack wins. We didn't deliver. We didn't get that done. That's my fault. It starts with me. Obviously, I got to look at what we're doing, just like I've said. So I don't like to lose. We're sitting here right now at 1-3, disappointed because we were 0-1 today. So we'll get back to work tomorrow, and we'll find out who's interested in attacking the problem to find a solution. Good. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, guys.
How you doing?
That's good. Coach talked about how after the game he kind of addressed the locker room and basically said kind of need to see who is interested in addressing things going forward and becoming better going forward.
Yes, sir.
What was that conversation like?
Really, it's just it's 0-0 at this point. We lost the game. We didn't come and compete. I guess they wanted it more. So at this point, we just getting ready for next week. We getting ready for our MAC games, and we still on our way to get a MAC championship.
You kind of hinted at it there. It seemed like at times, and Coach kind of alluded to it too, that Georgia Southern wanted this game more. How do you feel like you guys can go forward in kind of establishing confidence?
I just think we just got to be more competitive. As a man, I mean, you just got to be competitive. You got to want it more than the other person, and clearly they wanted it more today.
Yeah. On Monday, Coach was talking about the dynamic playmakers that Georgia Southern has on offense, particularly at wide receiver. What was the game plan in the DB room approaching this game?
Nothing. We didn't make nothing special for them. We didn't make nothing special going in. It was just go out there, execute, and do your job. We didn't make no special calls, no special plays for them. And we just had to go out there and do our job.
Yeah. It felt like, I said this to Coach, it kind of felt like this loss feels a little different than the loss to Georgia or Kentucky earlier in the year.
Definitely.
You feel the same way?
Definitely.
Why is that?
It's just we felt like coming into this game, because we played them last year, and we lost last year on our part too. Like, they wanted it more last year, and it just hurts really when you lose a game where like they're not 40 points better than us, and we allowed them to get 40 points on us, and we only put up 3. So it's just at the end of the day, we got to take it on the chin and come back on Monday ready to work for the next game.
As a defender, when it's a 40-3 game,
Mhm.
I mean, you're going to be on the field for the majority of the game,
Mhm.
and the offense can't piece things together. You just keep having to go back on the field.
Mhm.
Is that hard to just kind of stay locked in and stay?
No,
No.
I love football. It doesn't matter what's going on during the game. I love being on the field, no matter what the score is, no matter if our offense is not clicking that day or if the defense is not clicking that day. I just love being on the field. So no matter what the points was, I love going on the field. So.
For sure.
Mhm.
And you mentioned last year's contest against Georgia Southern.
Mhm.
That one was a one-possession game, I believe.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference was between the 2 years?
They wanted it more this year. That's all it was. It wasn't they had specialty players or anything. They just wanted the game more, and that's what the outcome was.
How do you feel like you guys can address that issue moving forward?
Oh, easily. We just gotta let them know, like, leading forward, like this game is out the books. It's 0-0 now. We going into MAC play. These games count. So, if people want to keep dwindling on the past and keep dwindling on this loss, we can't allow that. We gotta let them know, move forward, forget this loss. We moving on to Western Michigan.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, how did kind of the offense is having a lot of short possessions today impact the defense?
I mean, it's as a defense, our job is to keep the points down. So it's no matter what the offense is doing, if they're clicking or they're not. We allowed 40 points. So it really is just us going out there and not doing our jobs.
You know, Coach mentioned like open field tackling is something that was an issue today. Like, how do you guys go about correcting something like that?
During the season, it's kind of hard, I would say. We don't really tackle that much in practice. We like to thud just to get the elude that we're tackling. But I feel like we just got to do more open tackle drills. That's the only thing you can do to stop that. Other than that, nothing really. I mean,
Did they do anything offensively that was unexpected?
no. Same thing they was doing on film was the same thing they was doing in the game. Nothing spectacular. They didn't really go up tempo that much in the previous weeks, but they definitely went up tempo on us, and it got us a little bit confused a little bit on some calls, certain checks that we usually make that we couldn't make because they was keeping the pressure on us and stuff like that. So I guess it's just the up tempo in this other offense.
Sure. And then obviously, Damon Charity and Lauren Strickland went out and they didn't return. We don't know what their status is yet, but like, how did that also kind of impact just the defensive communication or anything?
Nothing. Next man up. Everybody in practice plays. And no matter if you're a 1, 2, or a 3, you're gonna get some reps. So it's just it's overall communication aspect. When they went down, nothing really clicked off because I played Joker. So the communication between the safeties to the corners never really messed up. It was just they just wanted it more at that point.
And the last thing, I guess a positive defensively is that they got in the red zone a lot, but then you guys were able to kind of hold them to field goals more often than not. What is it about getting in that kind of situation that you guys kind of are able to kind of bend and not break?
So I feel like our overall red zone defense has been great all year. We got a lot of things to clean up clearly because we allowed too many points in the red zone today. But name of the game is bending and not breaking. So when we get in that red zone, we can hold them to 3. It's a celebration for us because if they would have scored, that's 7 points on the board. They didn't. They kicked the field goal. They could have missed, but they didn't. They made their 3 points. So we just go off on the sideline, take it on the chin, and come back for the next possession.
It's all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. You have a great day. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir. Corey Stewart.
Well,
Good night, Jordan.
nice to meet you.
We good? Corey, just obviously it goes without saying the offense struggled today. Obviously the run game has been a point of emphasis this season and getting it started. Last week the run game was very successful. Today it wasn't. What do you feel like went wrong in that aspect?
I just feel like they just was prepared. That's all it was. They saw what we put on film last week, and they wanted to come out and make an emphasis on stopping it. So I feel like that's what it was. We still got to go out and execute no matter what they put in front of us. But I just feel like they was well prepared.
Yeah. When you kind of see that, and you said that you feel like you guys could have made some adjustments there, what do you think you guys can do going forward to kind of match team's preparation, I guess?
It just starts with us. Honestly, we got to look ourselves in the mirror, each man individually, and say, what can we do better as an individual to better our team? That's all it comes to at the end of the day, just us.
Yeah. Again, I asked Jordan the same question, but Coach was talking about how after the game he talked with you guys and just said that going forward, you guys need to kind of look yourselves in the mirror, address if you want to make changes, and move forward. Well, how did that message sink in for you?
Basically saying that I just said, just everybody got to own their job, and if you're not owning your job enough, somebody else got to step in and take that job. So I just feel like everybody got to own their 111 and do what they said they want to do at the beginning of the year, which win the MAC championship.
Yeah, the offensive line is a big point of emphasis for Ball State this year. Really, it's kind of known as a strong group, but today it just kind of seemed like the Georgia Southern got off the blocks pretty quick. In pass blocking essentially as well. What was your approach there? Because it felt like they got to Samanza or Kelly quite a bit.
My approach has always been the same. I'm come out, do what I can, do what I'm best at, which is pass blocking. So I just take pride in what I'm doing. No matter if I get beat or if any of my other linemen get beat, we just take it on the chin and just keep coming. That's what comes with the position. You're not going to win every battle, but it's about how you react to your loss.
What was the mood like around the offense today? Like, you have those struggles and there's a lot of 3 and outs. When you go back to the sideline, are there guys trying to get guys fired up? I mean, what was the mood like?
It's just coming out and asking each other what we're seeing and just being all on the same page, honestly, trying to figure out what we can do to make this outcome different than what it was.
Yeah. And again, as I asked Jordan, this loss feels a little different than Georgia or Kentucky, and he felt that way as well. Do you think so?
I feel the same way, yeah.
Why is that?
Because this is a team that we, just like Jordan said, we was in a one-possession game with last year. We felt like we let that get away from us, and they're not 40 points better than us, honestly. So that's what it feels like. It hurts more knowing that we was in a one-possession game with them last year and we lost by a lot this year. So that's all it was.
Coach Neu was talking about how he feels like Georgia Southern is similar to a MAC opponent. It feels like the Sun Belt and the MAC are similar.
Yeah.
So with MAC play coming up, what do you think that you can take away from Georgia Southern going forward?
Just how they prepare for us. We put this on film this week, so a lot of MAC teams are probably going to look at this and say, this is what we got to do. So we got to attack the film this week and really break it down to see where we messed up at and where we can be better at.
Corey, do you feel like the offensive line has kind of played to its potential so far? Because I know you guys are a heralded group and pretty experienced.
No, I don't. It's no matter how well we play, we can always play better. My mindset this week was we put up 288 last week. Let's put up more this week. No matter who we play, we're just trying to get better every week.
I'll say how can you guys kind of play more to your potential? Like, is it simply opponent, or is it something that you guys need to fix?
Just technique, communication, just all being on the same page. That's the only thing we can do is make sure we're all together when we're doing stuff. That's it.
Also, like we're kind of talking about, the offense just couldn't find a rhythm today. Do you feel like any of that had to do with, like Coach said, execution a lot? Like, you know, how does that kind of be correctable mid-game? Like, did you guys try anything different?
Just execution, honestly. If they don't matter what the defense does, we have stuff to adjust to. We just got to go out there and execute. We come on the sideline, talk about what we see and what we did, whether it's right or wrong, and we find ways to make it better. That's the only thing we can do during the game.
Sure. I know you guys have different responsibilities in like some of the skill positions, but do you guys ever communicate with like Coop or Caden on a day like today where it's frustrating?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just try to get a vision of what they see behind us, just so I can try to communicate better with the O-line. We can communicate with each other better. It's all about communication and execution, honestly.
Did they express any, I mean, not even necessarily frustration with the offensive line, but did guys like Samanza or Cooper express just frustration today and how the game was going?
It's going to be frustration with when you're struggling, but it's just about how we persevere through the frustration. They did great. We all did great, just taking ownership of when we messed up and just being honest about what's going on the field. So I feel like everybody was level-headed, honestly, on the sideline.
For sure. That's all I got.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.